Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I haven't done a franchise video in a while, and what happened was I kind of forgot about this film series because I didn't see all the movies. And then somehow I found on Netflix that Netflix had the Final Destination movies on there. I had seen the first three. I did not see the fourth one, and for whatever reason they didn't have the fifth one on there. Um, well, I just saw they had the first three, and they had the Final Destination, and that was a big problem with the movie is that title. They should just call Final Destination 4. And that was supposed to be the final movie, and they just called it Final Destination. Being a little bit of a tongue in cheek, but it gets confusing if you're trying to look for the sequels and stuff. You find that's actually Final Destination 4. And they did that before in movies and stuff like that, but usually for different reasons. Um, but when I found they had that, and I was kind of excited to see them, because I've always liked the Final Destination movies. I know a lot of people are very I don't know. Some people don't like the movies. I remember. I think I talked to John about it. I don't want to put words in John's mouth, but I mean I can't remember if John liked them or did not like them or thought they were just ridiculous. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I know what he said, but I don't want to put words in his mouth. But I mean it's not a big deal. I was gonna, cause I'm doing this late at night, and I'm not gonna contact him on Facebook now and ask if he liked them or not before I do the video. He can always comment. I'll just talk to him later, but it's not that important. Yeah, I saw that there's a lot of rankings of the worst to best of the Final Destination movies. I'll tell you why why I'm done with the video. And a lot of people a lot of the lists are really different. There's only 5 minutes, a lot of movies, and some people are like, you're out of your damn mind. And there's only one person I agreed with on the rankings from worst to best, and that's the only person I commented on. I didn't say that I agree with her thing. I said I'm going to be doing of what you said about the movie. I decided I'm going to be doing a franchise video about this to hopefully tomorrow. And she was nice. I hope it goes well. No, thank you. I only agree with her. That's the only person I put a comment on. And I'll tell you who I agreed with at the very end of the video. Well, anyways, Final Destination movies. Um, Way back in 2000, my grandmother passed away. And we had like a big, I had some days off, personal leave because of that. We had a big funeral. And my dad said that, keep your mind off. And why not take, I know you're going to. Why not drop you off to the at the movies? And I said, okay. And he picked me up like 2 hours later. And I went to see at the Mill Creek Six, the Dollar, which was I believe the Dollar Theater at the time. I went to see Final Destination there, and I really enjoyed it. And I remember the only thing I knew about Final Destination going into the movie was that what I decided looking really cool with the plane stuff and the plane and stuff like that was I remember Cisco Ebert. It was Ebert and Roper at the time. I think I remember. And Roger said there's a lot. He called it a slasher film. I don't. It's more like a supernatural slasher, I guess. And called there's lots of slasher films out there, and this is one of the better ones. He liked that. I think he liked the Scream movies too, and the Scream movies are one time watching. I still have not seen Scream 4. I gotta go ahead and watch it sometime. I think the Scream movies kind of ruined the horror genre for a while because you didn't see a lot of main horror films come out for a good amount of time. Except for I Know What You Did Last Summer, and those are I barely remember those. Those are like one-time watches. But I gotta watch Scream 4 sometime. Well, anyways, I mean, he said one of the better ones. Now, Final Destination, the first one involves these people who said we gotta get out of this plane before it blow up. This guy had this premonition about this plane blowing up and killing other people. We gotta get out of this plane. And him and his friends came out of there, and they found that the plane did blow up. And and Tony Todd's in this one too, and he says that something happened, and then the people who survived start dying. You find that they cheated death, and now death is going to try to come back and take them because they were supposed to die in that crash. And through very elaborate means, which are, I mean, like for the most part, like typical accidents. You know what I mean? And some get more very elaborate, which are I was really intrigued in what they do with these, which I really enjoy in these movies. And that was a great time. I really enjoyed the very first edition. I give that 10 out of 10. It was great. Now that was the only one I've seen in the theater. The other ones, I remember the second one came out 3 years later, and there's like a big space of time before each one of these came out. It's not like uh, the Star Wars movies where they were putting it when they brought them back. They put them out one every year. I mean, you have to, it was too much. I think they gave more thought to these. I don't know, but I did like the Star Wars movies. I don't mind really comparing Final Destination to Star Wars. That's silly. But and then next one is Final Destination 2. I remember this is back when they had a overflow of movie review shows. They had Cisco and Ebert, and then they had others said they had Real Talk, which was late night NBC, like Friday night, and then they rebroadcast it Saturday night with Jeffrey Lyons and this very attractive girl who ended up pissing me off saying that they did the Anvil review and they said I could care less what they about this, and then she said she didn't think it was an important type of music. That you know. And then they had a Hot Ticket with it used to be a group of people, celebrities, and then it just ended up being like Leonard Maltin and Joyce Kohaywick, who said, I'll tell you what, Joyce Kohaywick said, the silliest thing I've ever heard from any film critic. She said, I forgot how great an actor Ken Russell is. Kurt Russell is. Ken Russell's the director. What a great actor Kurt Russell is. Kurt Russell's great in every movie he's in. Even if he's in a crappy movie like Captain Ron. He's great in every movie. I mean, and that's just silly of her. And kind of obnoxious, too. I think they were reviewing that, what was it, Dark Blue or Dark City or whatever. They're not Dark City, Dark Blue, the one about the LA cops during riots and stuff. I think it was Dark Blue, I can't remember. Well, anyways, I remember Leonard Maltin was commenting on this, and he said he said, could you, to the filmmaker, could you make sure these deaths don't seem so realistic? Or that's the thing, they make a lot of these things, the stuff on the highway, and found that it was great. I remember renting that, and my dad, I bought it used. My dad said he couldn't watch it. His dad couldn't watch it. He said it was too realistic to him. I mean, the accidents and stuff like that, stuff that can really happen. But I was very captivated. I mean, it's very well shot, very well made. Once again, a lot of fun. It seemed, I mean, and that one snotty kid, when he chased those pigeons like a bratty kid, and then that painted glass for him, that was brilliant. That was awesome. I love the movie too. I give that a 10 out of 10. It was fantastic. Next was Final Destination 3, the roller coaster one. And that was, I think, the first one was 2000, the second one was 2003, and this one was 2005, I believe. God, these things are so obtrusive. I think it was 2005 or 2006. And I remember buying, and that was the roller coaster one. And it was really entertaining. I liked how they did, and then I know Roger Ebert reviewed it, and he said, well, I don't think I'm going to be going on a roller coaster anytime soon. That shows, just like what Leonard Maltin said, could you make these deaths not seem so realistic? I mean, or the accident seems so real, or something that would happen in real life. That's somewhat of the power of horror films and stuff like that. Like, when Jaws came out, people didn't want to go in the water. I guess through Happy Days, I remember when Psycho came out, Happy Days people didn't want to take a shower anymore for a while. That's the power of horror films. And then sometimes I wouldn't want to go out on a roller coaster. I've seen Final Destination 3. And it's it's really cool. I love the movie. And once again, it's like, they cheated death, and then death is coming after him like a supernatural force. And I think it's a fascinating idea, and get to see the the ways, it gets it gets a little silly, but it's very entertaining. It's never boring. I mean, it gets sillier the way as it goes on. I mean, just like all the Final Destination movies. But it's a lot of fun. I liked it. I give it once again 10 out of 10. Next was the Final Destination, which I was weird about because I looked it up. They're trying to do a Final Destination 6 touted for this year, next year, but I don't know if things going on the way they are. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. They said it was touted, it was scheduled, but things the way they are, it's up in the air. But the Final Destination, that's the biggest problem I have with the title. I mean, it's supposed to have been the last one, shot in 3D. They should have just called it Final Destination 4. It would have been a lot easier. And they actually have a thing on Final Destination 5 at the end of it. They have a compilation. They have like a little music video, and they say Final Destination 4. They don't say the Final Destination. This one revolves around accidents happening at a racetrack. And this is the one I saw last night. I saw on Netflix. And I was very happy to see it because I didn't know that it was on there. But I don't understand why they didn't bother to have Final Destination 5 on there. I had to watch it on another site. But I mean, it's really entertaining. It's non-stop. The guy had the premonition that something happened with someone else after they cheated death on some of the people cheated death through the race car thing. The guy had the premonition, and they show like another scenario, and it's really entertaining, never boring. Some of the CGI, I mean, when you see it in 2D, some of the CGI looks bad. Like the part where the guy, I do admit this, it did look bad when the guy had like this air thing, I can't remember, air canister hit him, and he goes against this fence, and you see the air canister push like his skin through, and it didn't look good. But I mean, through CD, if you saw it in the 3D, it probably looked cool. But in 2D, some of the effects suffered. But I mean, I really enjoyed it. I think the thing of calling it the Final Destination was stupid, though. They just called Final Destination 4, but it was supposed to be the last one. But it made money, I'm pretty sure. And then, like they had, what's that? Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter. Then they had Friday the 13th, Part 5, The New Beginning, which is my favorite one of the Friday the 13th movies. Just like that, And other just like Halloween 2 was supposed to be the last of the series for that one. Then they brought that back. Because it makes money. Well, anyways, I mean, for the most part, I find Destination, Final Destination 4 was awesome. I loved it. 10 out of 10. It gets a little silly, but I mean, I had a great time. And some of the deaths were all rated, so I was laughing and stuff. And next was Final Destination Part 5. Now, I didn't hear a lot of positive things about 4 and 5. 5 was done in 2011, and then it was supposed to wrap up the series, I guess. It revolves around, the guys going for a retreat. And they actually had, and so, like, all these movies are usually, like, I think the fourth one was 25 minutes, and then anywhere from 20 to, like, an hour and 40 minutes. They're pretty short movies. This one was only, like, 91 minutes. Revolves around people going on a company retreat, and they have lots of like character development at the beginning. It kind of slowed down the movie, and then they finally get to the part when they're going to go to this bridge, and a bridge collapse, and they have problems with this bridge. The bridge collapsed, and all that stuff is fantastic. It's really, really good. And then they get the part where the guy had a premonition, after they cheated death, but they didn't cheat death, They talked to the cop, and this cop's telling him, he says, he was calling him a terrorist. I said, how do you know about all this stuff happening? And he said, with premonition, and he said, I don't believe you, and stuff like that, And that was the interesting part, to have the cops be suspicious of him. And then during the funeral, you see Tony Todd's on there, and Tony Todd's like, you can't cheat death. You see him a few times in the movie, which is really cool. The biggest problem is the lead couple, the guy and girl lead, are so boring. And they were a little bit boring in the beginning, but then whenever, they start talking about, like, You know, she said, I wish you would have gone to your job in Paris. And he said, oh, yeah, but I don't want to leave you. And that would just drag the movie down. They just weren't interesting. And there's scenes of them talking throughout I mean, the movie doesn't get boring, but it just gets bogged down. You see it slowing down some. Um, and then there's a kill inside. Some of the kills aren't as spectacular, but I mean, they're still pretty interesting. Uh, Something happened, and then for the most part, the movie slows down. One guy looks a lot like Tom Cruise, so I think this has the slowest pacing of all the movies. And I see a lot of people who were ranking them best to worst said this was one of the best ones. They're out of their damn mind. But I love the way it ended. I thought it was clever. And then they did like a music video thing, which I really loved, with AC/DC, If You Want Blood, You Got It. Wrapping up the series. I thought it was clever how they ended it. But I think it was the slowest of the series, even though it's only 91 minutes. And I still enjoyed it. I mean, you know, but I think it was the weakest of the series. I only give that one a 7 out of 10. So, I mean, just like, that's my thought of the Final Destination film franchise. Just like the Police Academy movies, I think they just got worse as they went on. With, like, Mission to Moscow being by far the worst. That didn't even look like a Police Academy movie. And the first one being the best. You know. And City Under Siege was the last one they showed in the theaters. And that was weak, too. But, I mean, it was much better than Mission to Moscow. So the only person I agree with the Final Destination ones, I think the first one was the best. Well, the worst one was Part 5. I'd go from worst to best. The Final Destination movies, Part 5, then Part 4, then Part 3, then Part 2, then Part 1. And the only person that agreed with me on that was the movie Oracle, because they had other people saying Part 5 was the best, and they're out of their mind. Because I thought that was the slowest one with the least elaborate kills in it. But I mean, that stuff, the beginning and ending were great. The stuff on the bridge was fantastic. I loved all that, but, you know, and that's my thoughts about the Final Destination film franchise. Because I wanted to do this, but I didn't see those two. I'm glad I saw them now. I haven't done any real horror movies stuff in a little bit. And like I said, they were classified as slashers, but I consider it to be like a supernatural one. Because you're not going to see like, you know, they have like the talk about the slasher. You're not going to consider a slasher movie or something like that. It's like they call it Pinhead a slasher. But he's not a slasher at all. From the Hellraiser movies. So I hope you like this. This is my personal thoughts about the Final Destination film franchise. I don't know if you feel the same way. Some people dismiss these movies. They get their kitty much over the top, but they're a lot of fun. I really had a good time watching these. Like I said, the fifth one I think dragged some, but it was still really good. But it dragged, and it was the weakest of the 5 in my opinion. And that was the one that got the highest critical praise, it figures. So, I hope you like this video. Bye. Till next time, please. Take care, my legion. So, a movie Oracle, that's the one I agree with. And that's the only one I comment on her video. I agree with that. The other people like putting like, oh, Part 5 is the best. This is glorious. No, it wasn't. It was least elaborate. Except for the bridge. And the ending was clever, but it was a cheat, though. But the stuff of the bridge was fantastic. So I hope you liked the video. Everybody, till next time, take care.